Hello you guys, this is Kim and bienvenidos to a timeless reading where we are going to take a look at the next 7 days, and these next 7 days could either be the next 7 days from whenever you happen to be watching this reading, or it could be any next 7 days of your choice. Remember, this is a timeless reading. Okay, so basically what we are going to find out in this reading is what it is that you can look forward to and or expect for the next 7 days. Okay, and I have already quite a collection of the next 7 days prediction readings. So if you don't feel drawn to any of the options presented to you in this video, and you do feel called to maybe look at the other, but you do want to know about the next 7 days, then if you feel called to do so, I do recommend for you to maybe look through the other videos I have already posted about the next 7 days and see which one you are drawn to. They are all timeless readings as well as this one, so any of them can be relevant for you if it does end up resonating with you. But with that being said, let us now take a closer look at the options. So for option or group number 1, we have the fast forward symbol. For option number 2, we have the stop sign. For option number 3, we have the plus and minus symbol. And for option number 4, we have the star. Please take as much time as you need to cast your gaze upon the options, meditate on them to see which one you are drawn to, because the one that you are drawn to will be the reading for you. And once you have chosen, then please head on over to the comment section and or the description box down below, where the timestamp for each group is provided so that you can skip right on over to your reading. Okay, but now that you have chosen, let's get right into your messages. Let's go. Hello you guys who chose the fast forward symbol. Bienvenidos to your reading. So different messages are coming through with this fast forward symbol. The first being is that this week, or the next 7 days to be more exact, could pass by pretty quickly, because when tapping into this group's energy, I did see a few images in my mind's eye, and one of them was quite blurry, and that made me think of speed. You know, when you move quickly through something that you can't see anything clearly, it all seems blurry. So that could be the case for some, and for others of you, it could be that in the next 7 days, things might be moving so slowly, or maybe at a normal pace, yet you still might feel this desire to move things a lot more quickly, you know, to like fast forward on the next 7 days. Because again, when tapping into this group's energy, what came to mind was the movie Click with Adam Sandler. You know, the one about the universal remote that can pretty much control time. Yeah, so very much like the main character in the movie Click, you might feel this desire to move things along. And the lesson behind the movie Click is that every moment counts. You know, everything we experience adds up to something, adds up to the value, the meaning of life. It might not feel or seem like it in the moment, but if we were to skip on certain things that we need to go through, we will end up losing a lot, losing memories, losing valuable life lessons and life experiences and so forth. Yeah, so if any of you feel inspired or call to look up the movie Click and possibly even watch it, I do recommend for you to do so, because there could be an important message in that movie for you. And it's possible that maybe some of you were already planning to watch that movie in the next 7 days, and that's why it came up. But moving on to the next message that came through is that in the next 7 days, you could feel this surge of energy or possibly inspiration, because when I lit up the candle to start your reading, it actually sparked. So that made me think of a spark of energy, a spark of inspiration. And then with this fast forward symbol, again, it's making me think of speed, of action, of wanting to move forward, wanting to move things along. So yeah, you could find yourself sometime in the next 7 days feeling this surge of energy adrenaline maybe, and this desire or possibly even need to be active. And the last message that came through, I know these are a lot of different messages, so please use your discernment here. Only take what resonates, is that in the next 7 days, you could be experiencing a timeline jump. Yeah, with the fast forward symbol, there's this feeling of skipping ahead. So you could be experiencing something like you're waiting in line for something and then you get an opportunity to skip ahead, to skip the line. But it could also be that something you've been waiting to happen ends up happening much quicker and ends up happening in the next 7 days. So I'm seeing in my mind's eye a paper being folded. I don't have a paper with me, but I do have this leaf. So it's like we have point A at one end and point B at the other, and you're at point A waiting to get to point B. And so there is quite a distance between them still. So what is happening in the next 7 days is that, this leaf is getting folded in half so that now point A is in contact with point B without needing to go through all this distance. So it's kind of like, I'm not sure if this is what you call bending time, but it's kind of like entering a wormhole in the next 7 days, and what was expected to happen much later on, it's happening in the next 7 days. Things are happening much quicker, or you're skipping things. You're skipping certain steps, or maybe certain lessons, certain events to get exactly where you were planning to be in the first place. Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing thus far with this fast forward symbol. So now we're gonna move into the cards, see what else we can get for the next 7 days. Okay, so we have soft, number 25, with delicate, and the message, submerge yourself with softness and feminine energy to find a space of euphoria. Touch the softness of blankets, plush pillows, animals, soft clothing, lovemaking. Okay, and now let me pull out a clarifier. So if it happens to be the 25th of the month in the next 7 days, that specific day could be of significance. And then we have the 8 of Pentacles, number 44, with the broken glass. Okay, so the 8 of Pentacles speaks about dedication, hard work, discipline. It also speaks about practice, practicing in order to build a skill or to improve, to make progress. So if you have been hard at work, or you've been doing a lot, maybe putting a lot on your plate, taking on a lot of responsibilities, or trying to handle several things at once, I do feel like in the next 7 days, you are going to be taking it a lot more gently and slowly. So I do see you in a way pulling back a bit and lessening the load, maybe putting less on your agenda, on your to-do list, or cutting back on the workload. And this could be you doing this yourself, you choosing to not take on so much in the next 7 days, or it could be that your life, your situation, circumstance is slowing down a bit in the next 7 days. So for example, if you work a 9-to-5 job and it's been your 9-to-5 job that's been pretty hectic recently, that's been causing you to work a little bit more, then in the next 7 days, there won't be as much work at your 9-to-5, which will lessen the workload for you, which will result in things possibly moving a lot more slowly. Yeah, and if you guys are kind of used to that fast pace, that go-go energy, and then things all of a sudden slow down, that could be the reason why some of you might feel the need to speed things along, or you might feel a desire for these next 7 days to come to an end because you're missing that fast pace. So if that resonates with you, with this soft card, this is an advice, right? So only take it if it resonates. If not, then, just let it be. But you are being advised to work with this slow energy. It's there for a reason, especially if you aren't someone who will willingly create pause or slow things down for yourself in order for you to catch a break, take a breather. So things are slowing down for you so that you can relax a bit. And I know that's difficult, especially for those of us who are used to always being on the go, always doing something, being in a way productive, but these next 7 days could be those baby steps to help you get acquainted and familiarize with slow living, with taking things slow every now and then, and realizing that taking things slow doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. That choosing to rest, choosing to take care of yourself, it is being productive because you are taking care of some basic needs, your basic needs. Yeah, so if this energy or this message resonates more with you, with this soft card, I do see you choosing to be a lot more gentle, a lot more nurturing to yourself in the next 7 days. Maybe not put too much pressure on yourself, not ask too much of yourself. And actually, I do see you guys taking a break from something in the next 7 days. Or like I said, it more so feels like slowing things down a bit. And this doesn't have to be like taking a break from work or taking a break from school. This could be taking a break from, let's say, a goal that you're trying to achieve. To give an example, let's say someone who is currently on a fitness journey and they started off exercising every single day for 50 minutes. And they've been quite consistent, they've been quite committed and very disciplined about keeping up with this very intense and high demanding exercise routine. But in the next 7 days, they realize that they don't really have to be exercising every single day for 50 minutes. They can take it slow and cut back a little. Maybe cut back to exercising 5 days or 4 days a week. Maybe some days exercising for 20 minutes and some days for 45 minutes. But it doesn't have to be so hardcore every single day. They don't have to do things in excess, because that's the feeling I get with the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles can be pretty hardcore at times, especially when it is aiming for perfection or wanting to meet some very high expectations. So what I see happening in the next 7 days for a lot of you is that you're choosing to soften something up, something that maybe you were doing in excess, or maybe some expectations that you had about something or even about yourself. You're softening it up a bit in the next 7 days, maybe being a little bit more gentle about it, maybe a little bit more practical or realistic about it, and creating a more reliable and realistic, it could be expectation, routine, mindset, an approach, maybe even end goal. Yeah, because the feeling I'm getting with these two cards is of someone who maybe had really high standards at first or was putting too much pressure on oneself or on something, but then they set off to do the thing. They got a little taste of it and then they realized that, maybe it doesn't have to be so hardcore. Maybe we don't have to go that far. Maybe it doesn't have to be this intense, or it doesn't have to be that perfect. We can slow it down a bit. We can cut back on certain things. We can lessen the load maybe, or the amount of days we need to do this, or the amount of time that we need to be hard at work with this thing. We can soften the approach to make it more manageable, to make it more practical for us, to make it more conceivable. Yeah, because we do have the number 44 here, and the number 4 in itself is known to be a number of stability, practicality. Whenever I see repeated 4s, it also makes me think of healing. And personally for me, it indicates that angels are around, that there is an angelic presence around you. So I do feel like in the next 7 days, it's about being a lot more gentle and more understanding with yourself, not putting too much pressure on yourself or demanding really unrealistic things of yourself. Yeah, and for others of you, this could very well be that you have put a lot of work into something. You have put, let's say, in your hours, that now you have reached a point in which you can slow it down. You don't have to work as much, or you don't have to work as hard, because you have found some stability. You have found some grounding, some reliability. An example that is coming to mind is someone who owns a business, and they've been working very hard, working maybe extra hours to create a reliable and stable clientele. And now they have reached that point where they do have a reliable, loyal, consistent clientele. And so now they don't have to work so hard to achieve that goal, because they have already achieved it. It doesn't mean that they are slacking off. That's not the vibe here. It's not about slacking off. It's about, just taking it more slow, seeing your situation, your circumstance, and realizing that you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself, that you don't have to be overworking yourself, that things don't always have to be fast-paced, that there could be moments in which you can take it slow and relax a bit, because things won't fall apart. Your empire, what you have built thus far, won't fall apart if you do. Yeah, so with the number 44 here, I do feel like in the next 7 days, a lot of you are starting to feel a lot more secure and a lot more stable in what it is that you do. Maybe in your financial situation, if that applies for some, or it could be in your career, in your profession, but this could also be in your family or in your group of friends, because for whatever reason, an example came to me out of nowhere of someone who works very hard to be there for their loved ones, who maybe is the one who provides emotional support, maybe is the one who is always there to offer advice when someone needs it or asks for it. And that is a lot of work because that's the feeling I'm getting with the Eight of Pentacles. It's someone who's always at work. Even when they aren't working, they're still working in a way. So if that resonates with you, if you feel like you usually take on that role of caregiver, caretaker, of emotional support, I do feel like in the next 7 days, you are realizing that even though you take on this role from time to time or quite frequently, that doesn't mean that that's your identity. It doesn't mean that that's who you are. And so you not providing emotional support does not take from your worth or your value. What you do, what you provide to others, it's beautiful and it's important, but you not offering it does not take away from your worth or your value. Because even though it is something that you do, it isn't exactly who you are. You are much, much more than that. You are much, much more than what you do and what you bring to the table. So if that resonates with you, in the next 7 days, I do see you allowing yourself to take a break, to be gentle with yourself, to not feel like you need to be available to others at all times, to know your worth, regardless of what it is that you can and cannot do at any given moment. Realizing that you are worthy and that you are of value simply because you are you, not because of what you do. So that's the kind of soft energy I see you providing yourself with. That knowing, that reassurance and assurance that you are worthy, you are of value, that your value, that your worth is inherent. That it is okay for you to take some time for yourself. It is okay for you to say no from time to time. It is okay for you to be unavailable to others from time to time if it means taking care of yourself. Not in a way where you're shutting everybody out and you're isolating, but more so in a way where you are implementing your boundaries. You are being mindful of your battery. How full is your battery? If your battery is running pretty low, if maybe you're the one who needs emotional support, then that is possibly a time where you won't be available to provide someone with the emotional support that you might be needing at that time. So it's about you taking care of you, being okay with that, knowing that it's okay for you to do that. Yeah, because that's also the vibe I'm getting with 44, which I mentioned could be a number of healing. Yeah, and I did mention that for some it could be the case that things are slowing down at work or with work or at school if you're currently a student, but it could also be the case that this slowing down energy could be coming from you because there is a lot going on at school or at work at this moment. Or it has been so for quite some time, and this is you in the next 7 days choosing to get off of the treadmill. What I saw in my mind's eye was sort of like a Congo line, or just a group of people all walking in the same direction, all walking at the same speed pretty quickly, and you're in it. You're in that group of people or that Congo line, and what you're deciding to do in the next 7 days is get out of it. It's maybe possibly even realizing that, hey, I am a bit tired. I have been moving pretty quickly recently. I have been doing a lot, and it's maybe catching up to me. I do need a break, and then it's you choosing to get out of that fast pace in order to catch this break. This is not to say that you will be feeling worn down in the next 7 days, but if you do feel worn down or you start feeling a bit fatigued, please don't be hard on yourself about that. Please don't. Please don't expect yourself to just push through that or just overlook that or see that as weakness or as you not being able to pull your weight. Please don't, because we're not machines. You're not a machine. It is totally normal for you to feel the effects of you working, studying extra hours, or thinking extra hard, or taking on a lot. Because even being an emotional support to others can be a lot. It can get exhausting. Things can get exhausting. So yeah, I hope that if it does happen to be the case that you start feeling a little bit worn down in the next 7 days, that you don't overlook that or you don't beat yourself up about it, and instead ask yourself and your physical body, hey, I hear you, I feel you, I know what you're going through and what you have gone through, and I understand, so please let me know, what is it that you need? What is it that I need? Do I need a nap? Okay, let's make time for a nap. Do I need a nice bath? Then let's make time for that. Let's do that. Let's schedule that in. Let's make that a priority in the next 7 days. Let's do that for ourselves because we deserve it. You deserve it. Yeah, because if we reduce the number 25, we get the number 7, and because we do have the 8 of Pentacles, Pentacle energy here, the number 7, it's making me think of the 7 of Pentacles in Tarot, which is a card that I often interpret as nurturing the self, tending to the self. And whenever you do have time to take a break, to rest, don't try to rush that time. Don't try to end it quickly. Enjoy it. Milk it as much as you can. It's there for you. Know that everything you've been working on, everything you've been doing will be there for you after you come out of this break or after you have a nice nap. It will be there for you. Yeah, so I do feel like a lot of you are learning to be okay with taking it slow. Yeah, be it at your work, be it in your goals, be it simply taking it slow when you are taking a break. I do notice we have this broken mirror here, which for whatever reason, it's making me think of the Matrix, like coming out of the Matrix. And I did mention something about, did I say jumping timelines or bending time? Yeah, so it could be that in the next 7 days, for some, your perception about time will be changing a bit, where it will be allowing for you to see how something can happen, manifest, or come to fruition a lot faster than you thought it could initially. So like I said, it could very well be that something you expected for it to occur much later will be occurring in the next 7 days, which will maybe be the thing that will change your perception on time. Or it could be that you will be experiencing little time jumps here and there. Like, I don't know if skipping ahead in a line could be an example of a time jump, or not being made to wait for something that usually takes a long time could be an example of a time jump. But I do see you experiencing something along those lines in the next 7 days, which again might shift your perception on time. Like, oh, things don't have to take as long, or I don't have to be waiting so much for something to happen. Yeah, and for a lot of you, this change in perception of time could very well be helping you to feel a lot more comfortable in manifesting things that you at one point thought would take forever. Like practically, logically thinking about it, it is something that would take a long time. Yeah, and maybe because of that, you held yourself back from trying to manifest it or attract it, or maybe even go for it or strive for it. It could also be that this new perception on time could literally help you to manifest something a lot quicker. Like it's this feeling of not being limited by time anymore. There's also this feeling of releasing frustration when it comes to time. I am picking up on a bit of fear. It's like fearing time. If you do have a fear about time, I do see you in a way releasing it or starting to release it in the next 7 days. Maybe you thought time was passing too quickly and that brought you a little bit of anxiety, and in the next 7 days, it's like things are shifting for you. Your perception on time is shifting and you're no longer seeing time as passing quickly. You're just seeing things unfolding. Like maybe even releasing this idea that time is passing quickly, you start experiencing time moving a lot more slowly for you, or at a pace that is more digestible for you. Like even though time isn't changing in and of itself, like your perception of time is changing how you experience time. And with the broken, because we do have the fast forward symbol, which is making me think of like looking into the future, and then we do have the broken mirror here, which it's making me think of scrying, because mirrors, I believe it's mirrors, are used for scrying. If you are someone who feels the need to know about your future, or is someone who is constantly maybe going to tarot readers or looking at pick a card readings or tarot readings or intuitive readings on YouTube in order to get information about your future, whether it be on a certain area of life or just be in general, if you realize or you have come to realize that you've been doing this in excess, trying to look into your future, trying to foretell your future, trying to know more about your future, I do feel like in the next 7 days you're going to pull back on that a bit, because with the broken mirror here, I feel like trying to look into your future or foretell your future, get a lot of information about your future or future events has led to a lot of confusion, possibly even maybe anxiety or frustration. And I do notice that in this room the door is closed, and that's making me think of constriction, like being too up in your head, not being able to see clearly, feeling like you're limited. Yeah, so for some, it could be that trying to figure out your future or foretell it is resulting in you feeling trapped or you feeling limited in some way, or it's resulting in you maybe being too much up in your head, questioning every move that you are making, questioning whether you are making the right decision or not, and so forth. And that is maybe creating a lot of mental blockages, or maybe even creative blockages, or it's just restricting you a lot because you're not feeling as free to make decisions without worrying where this will lead to, or whether it will lead to whatever future was predicted to you at some point. So if you resonate with being in that energy, I feel like, again, this is advice. You are being advised to, cut back maybe on prediction tarot readings, or trying to guess what your future holds, or trying to predict your future, and instead be more comfortable with living in the moment and being in the moment, and starting to build that self-trust and that self-assurance that whatever choices you do make and whatever decisions you take will ultimately lead you where you need to be. Yeah, because with this number 44, and with the feather being here, because feathers are often associated with angels as well, or spirit guides, or divine guidance, divine orchestration, there is this feeling of being divinely protected, of an assuring message of everything is going to be all right. Everything is going to be all right. Yeah, and sorry, I tend to sometimes shuffle the deck off camera because I'm very fidgety, but this is the card that flipped over for you guys. So we have where you are is a perfect place to begin again. Relax, reset, and try again. Yeah, so if you are thinking about trying something over, trying again at something, this is your confirmation or reassurance that it is okay for you to do so and that where you are currently is perfect. Yeah, so for those of you doubting whether you are on the right path or whether you are doing well, this is again your confirmation, reassurance that you are doing well. And that more specifically, where you are right now, the now is the perfect time for you to start, for you to start over, for you to start again, for you to try again, or for you to simply start. You don't have to wait for tomorrow. You don't have to wait for a better time. You don't have to wait for a more perfect scenario or circumstance. Where you are right now is perfect for you to do what it is that you feel called to do, that is in alignment with you and you feel is of your highest good. Yeah, so for those of you who are waiting for the right time and you're feeling quite antsy about that because you don't know when the right time is, yeah, this could literally be a message of there isn't a so-called right time. Like right now is the perfect time. If you choose to start today, it's great, it's perfect. If you choose to start tomorrow, then that's perfect too. So waiting for the right time, it's more about when you're ready, when you choose to go for it, when you choose to start, that would be the right time. And not so much a perfect place, perfect timing kind of situation. Because we do have like this small fence, is it? And then this bigger one, which makes me think of like a mom and their child or a parent and their child. In the next 7 days, you could be receiving some guidance and or advice from a paternal, maternal figure or a caregiver, caretaker. It could even be a mentor. But I was especially getting a mother figure. And again, a mother figure doesn't have to be your biological mother. It could be someone who is a mother figure to you. Someone that you feel safe with, protected by, and supported by as well. Yeah, so if you are the one who often plays that mother role, like the mother in your friend group, or the father role, the father in your friend group, who is often the one providing emotional support, this month I do see you being the one provided with that emotional support. So remember, just because you're the one who often provides doesn't mean that you can be provided for. So allow yourself to be supported. Because I do feel like there's people around you who do want to support you, who want to give back to you in a way. It's not because they have to, it's not because they feel obliged to do so, but it's because they want to. It's okay for you to be soft around others and be vulnerable around others. Because I feel like there are people around you who want to help you, who want to provide for you, who want to be there for you. And not because they feel they owe you anything, simply because you are you. Simply because they want to help you, because they love you, they care for you. And this could be spirit as well if you believe in spirit guides. Your spirit guides also want to be there for you. Your angels, if you believe in angels, they want to be there for you. So remember, they cannot interfere in your life unless you give them permission to do so. So don't ever feel like you're bugging your spirit guides or your angels. Don't feel like you're asking too much from them, because they are here to help you. They want to help you. At least that's the vibe I'm getting with these cards here. They're happy to be there for you. They want to, and I'm feeling this sudden surge of like affection, like wanting to be there for someone. They want to be there for you. But we also have, don't worry about proving yourself or making your mark in this life. There is no ending to who you are. Your energy never ceases to be. And this image is super important because we have this person walking on a path. So if you are questioning whether you are on the right path or not, this is your confirmation that you are on the path. You are on your path. So to keep going, and if there's moments in which you need to take a break, in which you need to pause in order maybe to take in your surroundings, it's okay for you to do so. The path will still be there for you. Yeah, and this is just further reassurance that your value, your worth, it's inherent. There's no ending to who you are. And just because you need to take a break, just because you do need to be soft every now and then, doesn't mean that you are less than. No, it just goes to show that you are human. Yes, you are a soul living a human experience, but you are, nevertheless, living a human experience. Embrace your humanness. Don't undermine your need for relaxation, your need for vulnerability, your need for connection, your need for affection, even your need for attention. It's okay. Needing these things, wanting these things doesn't make you less than. It does not. No matter what age you are. Yeah, because I'm seeing a wide range of ages here with the number 25. Some of you guys could be 25 or in your 20s, moving on to your 20s, and some of you could be in your 40s, or possibly moving on to your 40s or coming out of your 40s. So whatever age you are, know that it's okay for you to want and for you to need these things and for you to deserve all of these things, you know, affection, nurture, rest, vulnerability, softness, appreciation. You are important is the last message that is coming through. You are important. Yeah, once again, if it happens to be the 25th of the month in the next 7 days, or the 2nd, the 5th, or the 4th of the month, possibly even the 8th, those could be important days for you guys. But these are all the messages I am seeing for you. I do hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. And a huge thank you to all of you who took a moment to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background. If you didn't skip on those, thank you so very much, because that is a simple way to support me and to support this growing channel. And I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Spirit, who assisted me with delivering these messages to you. So yeah, thank you for being here. I'm wishing you a wonderful next 7 days, and until the next moment, bye bye. Hello you guys who chose the stop sign, bienvenidos to your reading. So when connecting with this group, not much came through intuitively. The only thing that I sensed was this sudden urge or need to cry. I all of a sudden was feeling very emotional, but then instead of allowing myself to just feel whatever was coming up for me, I noticed that I stopped myself. It's interesting because you guys did choose the stop sign. So this could be literally indicating that in the next 7 days, you may be stopping yourself from feeling certain emotions, or you may be stopping yourself from getting all emotional about something. Maybe someone else will be stopping you from, let's say, crying. Actually, now that I think about it, I did see images in my mind's eye of a wedding or a wedding venue. So it could be that some of you will be attending a wedding. It could be your wedding or the wedding of someone else. And at this wedding, you could be getting a little bit emotional or teary-eyed, and you might stop yourself from crying, or someone might tell you to not cry, to not make a big deal out of things, or to not get all emotional on them. And if so, this is your reminder here. We're reminding you that it's okay for you to cry. It's okay for you to get all choked up about something that might mean a lot to you. There's nothing wrong with you feeling your feels. It's the main message here. Okay, but apart from what came up intuitively when connecting with this group's energy, the stop sign could be indicating that in the next 7 days, you could be bringing a stop to something, you know, like a stop to a project. What just came to mind was like the processing of a purchase. Maybe you will be canceling a purchase that you are making, or you could be putting a stop to someone who might have been or will be overstepping some boundaries. Yeah, and something very specific just came to mind. So again, only take what resonates. If some of you have been thinking about getting a cosmetic procedure done or some kind of alteration, it's how it's coming through. You could be in the next 7 days deciding to not go through with this procedure or to postpone it while you still think about whether this is something that you actually want to do. I mean, there could be a rescheduling, like an appointment gets canceled and rescheduled, and so things are like pushed back a bit. But this could also be a situation in which maybe you are choosing not to proceed with something. And like I said, this could be like a cosmetic procedure, or it could be something else entirely. Maybe you were thinking about committing to something and then you decide to not go along with it, or postpone it for the meanwhile while you think more about it, whether this is something that you want to go through with or commit to or allow. It's how it's coming through. Yeah, but with stop, it does give me the feeling of halting something, kind of like hitting on the brakes and being pretty firm about it. Like putting your foot down and saying, no, stop. This is as far as I will go, or this is as far as I will allow you to go. Yeah, because now I'm sensing a bit of anxiousness or indecisiveness as well, a little bit of doubt. Yeah, so some of you could be going back and forth on whether you should go through with something or not. And maybe in the next 7 days, you are choosing not to make any final decisions, because it does feel, at least based on the energy I'm picking up on, that you are wanting to make a decision that you feel confident about. You are not wanting to take action out of fear or out of insecurity or out of pressure, like someone else pressuring you to do something, or I don't know, like society standards or beauty standards, for example, pressuring you into doing something that maybe you're not so sure about. So yeah, instead of just committing to something or jumping the gun, let's say, you are deciding to take some more time to think about, contemplate, introspect on whether what you are thinking about doing, committing to, or going through with, or saying yes to maybe, is something that you actually want and desire. Yeah, there's also something coming up about you contemplating on whether this is practical or whether this is healthy. Like, am I making a healthy decision? Am I being reasonable about this? Is this a practical choice or an option? Something along those lines. Okay, but now I'm going to move into the cards to see what else we can get or find out about the next 7 days. I know for those of you who are going back and forth in regards to whether you should say yes or no to something, or what decision to make, I know that at this moment you might be wanting for someone to tell you what to do, for someone to tell you what decision will lead to the best outcome, or what is the right decision or choice. And maybe you're hoping to get that from this reading. And I only mention this because I keep feeling this hesitation. Like, there's this feeling of not wanting to say anything that might encourage you to make any kind of decision, sort of. Because the decision should be yours. It should come from you. It shouldn't be because someone told you to do this or to do that, or because some random stranger on the internet predicted something for you. Yeah, so I feel like this is a lesson for you about trusting in yourself. I know that might be very frustrating and not very helpful to hear, but it is about trusting yourself and learning that sometimes the best decisions, quote unquote, the best decisions are the ones that feel the truest to us. It's not so much about whether it's right. And I believe I gave a similar message in another reading. I'm not sure if it was for this topic or for another topic, but it's more about like whether the decision that you are making is a decision that you can stand by. That you can take responsibility and accountability for no matter what happens. Okay, but let me pull out a card. I know it's very easy to give these kind of messages, and it's not like so easy maybe to put them into practice, the so-called advice, when we are a bit confused or feeling indecisive, or we are in this energy of fear or doubt. But it is the advice that is coming through for this specific reading. You know, when you take action, when you make a decision, the most important thing is whether you can take responsibility for that action, for that decision, whether you can stand by it and feel at peace with that decision, with that action that you are choosing to make and or take. Because you know that it is coming from you. You know that it is in alignment with your values, with your morals, with your ethics. Okay, so we have protected with the number 77 and the key terms trust and secure, and the message trust that whatever happens, you are protected as if a shield of armor is enveloping you. This protective energy is a strong force and keeps you free of danger and negative energy. Yeah, so if you guys needed that reassurance of knowing that everything is going to be all right, no matter what happens, here is your reassurance. You are protected. And I feel like this shield of protection not only envelops you, but it also extends to your loved ones or people who I feel for some of you, you are currently worrying about. Yeah. Oh, okay. This message just came through, which is a bit blunt. But with the stop sign, what came through was, I don't know if this will be helpful. I don't even know why this message came through, which was stop worrying. Stop worrying because everything is going to be all right. And a message also just came through about not preoccupying yourself too much about how you are going to please everyone. Because as much as we want to make everyone happy, we can't. Because every single individual is so very different from the other that to do something or choose something that will please everyone, especially please them immediately, is near impossible. So the more you worry about making everyone happy, the more difficult you will find it to make any type of decision or take any form of action. And also, I know this might sound a bit harsh, but be very mindful as to whether you are making this an excuse, which is wanting to please everyone or wanting to make everyone happy. Yeah, because sometimes we can hide behind that reasoning, or more like excuse. We can hide behind it in order to stop ourselves from moving forward or taking action or taking responsibility for something. Yeah, because every decision we make is our responsibility. And sometimes that is the reason why we often keep ourselves from making any decisions, because we don't want that responsibility. Which is why it was mentioned at the start that if you are going to take responsibility for something, let it be for something that you truly believe in, something that you can stand by, no matter what happens, something that you feel proud of. Not because others feel proud of you, but because you feel proud of you. Like, hey, I made this decision, I took this form of action because I believed in it. Let me pull out a clarifier. So we have the Two of Wands with number 46, the Railroad. Yeah, so the Two of Wands can sometimes speak about decisions, because it does talk about two different paths. So it's sort of like, what path should I choose? It's also a card about options and planning. The Two of Wands can also often indicate restlessness and this feeling of waiting. It could be like waiting for more clarity, or what I'm getting in specific for this group, it's like if you are indecisive about what decision to make, whether it is the right time to make a move or take action, I do feel like, again, only take what resonates, but I do feel like a lot of you are currently waiting, not so much to gain clarity, but more so waiting for someone else or something else to make a decision for you. Yeah, because I feel like the pressure of you making a decision yourself is too much, or you might not want that kind of responsibility. It might seem easier or more alleviating for you, more comforting if something external, like someone else or circumstance, let's say universe, makes a decision for you. Now, with the number 77 here, because it is a repeated number, and the number 7 in itself is a number that is often associated with spirituality, and right now I'm interpreting it as a number of divine guidance. Or, oh, the phrase that just came to mind was divine providence. That's not a phrase that I often, or I have up to this point used in my readings. But, you know, if that resonates with you, then so be it. But I do feel like up until this point, or if you haven't already, because we are talking about the next 7 days and this is a number 7, it could be that in the next 7 days you will be receiving guidance. If you believe in spirit guides or in universe, God, angels, whoever it is that you resonate with, you will be receiving guidance from them in the next 7 days. It could be through signs and synchronicities. It could be through things standing out to you, like if you overhear a conversation, maybe something that you overhear really stands out to you and feels like the answer to something. Or it could be through your dreams. Maybe you're having very vivid and impactful dreams that feel like a message to you. But I also feel like you will be receiving guidance in the form of events. Because with the train leaving here, I do feel like the path is becoming clearer for you. Yeah, with protected, it's like things that aren't meant for you, they will be leaving on their own. It sort of feels like. Yeah, because again, with the train leaving, it makes me think of like the train that you were thinking about getting on has just left. And that in itself, it's a sign. Or you might take that as a sign as, oh, okay, well, if I didn't manage to get on the train, or if the train just left, it's for a reason. You know, it means something. Maybe I wasn't supposed to get on that train. And so that gives me more clarity or better clarity about what train I do need to get on, or what I need to do, or where I need to go. It's sort of that feeling. So what I see happening in the next 7 days is that circumstance, universe, it's weeding out the unlikelies for you. Though I'm feeling a lot of hesitation with this group. It could be because you yourself are in this energy, so I'm picking up on it. But I also feel it's because if you are trying to make a decision, a lot of you could be literally waiting for a sign, or like I said, waiting for someone or something else to make a decision for you, or to tell you what to do, or to give you some form of answer that can then help you make a final decision. But I feel like, yes, it's true that you will be receiving divine guidance and assistance in the form of things that maybe do not serve you falling away on their own. But I also feel like even the things that might be actually in alignment with you or good for you might fall away as well. And it's not like missing an opportunity. It doesn't feel that way. It's more so like it's leaving for the moment. Because you know, trains, they do come back eventually, right? You just have to wait until it comes back. But how much more time you might need to wait, it will depend, right? So that's the feeling I'm getting here. It's like even the things that might be in alignment with you or good for you or will lead to good things, they could end up leaving the station for the meanwhile, while you continue thinking about what decision to make. So I'm not getting a right or wrong thing here. I know this isn't very helpful, but I'm not getting a right or wrong situation here. Like, let's say if the train leaves the station and you don't get on the train, nothing bad is going to happen. If you choose to wait a little longer, nothing bad is going to happen. If you choose to get on the train when it is there, nothing bad is going to happen. That's the energy that is coming through with protected. It's like whatever you decide to do, you are protected and things will be okay. Because not choosing to make a decision is still a form of action, right? It's still a choice. You're choosing not to make any decision. You're choosing to wait. It's still something that you're choosing. So there's this feeling of universe will guide you as best as they can. They will reassure you. Maybe that's what it's meant by guidance. They will continue to reassure you in the next 7 days and even past these next 7 days that whatever decision you choose to make will be a good decision, that there's no right or wrong ultimately. That's the kind of guidance you will receive, but they won't make a decision for you at the end of the day, because universe will go along with whatever it is that you want. So that's kind of the vibe I was getting when I mentioned that things that aren't in alignment with you will fall away, because I feel like the reason why I'm sensing a lot of hesitation is that you're changing your mind a lot, or you will be changing your mind a lot in the next 7 days. So if in a moment you're thinking, yes, I should go for this is the thing that I want, then universe will support that. And so them supporting that, they will remove anything that doesn't support that desire that you have. But then if the next day you're like, you know what, no, that's not the thing that I want, I don't want that anymore, I want something else, then the universe will support that. Universe will change with you and support that, and now they will start removing anything that isn't in alignment with this current desire of yours. So that's how things might change for you. And if you are looking for, let's say external validation or confirmation, and this is what you have been experiencing, like one day you're for this and one day you're for something else, and then you see your surroundings, your external environment kind of like supporting that back and forth, then that could end up being pretty confusing, because you're like, okay, so I don't really know what I'm supposed to do, because one day I get signs that A is the good option, but other days I get signs that B is the good option, and so I don't know which one is the best option for me. And so if that happens to be the case, take note of whether you yourself are going back and forth, whether you yourself are changing your mind frequently, and if when you choose to change your mind, that's when you see a change in what is being hinted at you. Yeah, so I feel like relying on external validation, I mean, this is what my perspective on the situation is, take it or leave it, if it's helpful or not, if it resonates with you. But I feel like at this moment, looking for external validation might not be the most reliable source, because universe, they're not making a decision for you. They're not telling you what to do. They're simply supporting you. And it's sort of this feeling of your outer reality, your external reality is reflecting your inner reality. So it's like, what's going on in your mind, it's being reflected in your outer reality. So if there's confusion within, you might see mixed signals and signs in your external reality. Yeah, I feel like if you choose to wait, that is perfectly fine. But this kind of energy of, getting mixed signals and signs, of going back and forth, will stretch out. And again, it's because it is you who needs to make that final decision. The decision needs to come from you. Whether you choose to listen to someone else, that will still be your decision at the end of the day, right? But it has to come from you. I don't necessarily feel like universe or circumstance is going to make a decision for you, at least not in the next 7 days. I don't think so. I mean, the only situation, or one of the situations I'm seeing here that might happen for some, that might help you make a decision, is that, let's go back to that train example. Let's say you have been hesitating getting on this 5 o'clock train, and you're like, should I not? Is this the right thing to do? Should I wait for the next train, or should I just not get on any trains for the time being? And then all of a sudden you hear the whistle of the train. You see the smoke coming out. You know that the train is getting ready to depart. And you're still doubting, like, no, should I not? I don't know. And you start getting a little bit nervous. And then as soon as the train starts, kind of rolling out of the train station, something in you clicks. Like, oh goodness, the 5 o'clock train is leaving. I need to get on that train. I know what I want now. I want to get on that 5 o'clock train. That's what I want. And then you jump on that train and you're off on your merry way. So that's the kind of feeling I'm getting here. It's like finding the clarity or having that realization sort of at the last moment. And it's because there is a little bit of pressure of something is about to leave, or something is about to end, or a portal, a door is about to close, and the minute that it's closing, you realize, no, this is the thing that I want. I can't let this door close. I can't lose this thing. I can't not have this thing or whatever it may be in my life or be a part of it. This is the thing that I want. And so that's your moment of realization. So that could be what will be happening for some. It's sort of like reaching an extreme. I feel like that's what some of you might be leading up to with, going back and forth or waiting for something else or someone else to make a decision for you, like reaching this kind of extreme of waiting at the last minute, or something kind of like pushing you to make a decision at the last minute. And, at the end of the day, waiting at the last minute is a universe or anything else making a decision for you. At the end of the day, it's you still making a decision for yourself. So if you feel like you guys in a way work better under pressure or gain more clarity when you are in a way under pressure, then that could be what you are manifesting for yourself, that kind of situation. Like you're manifesting this to help you out because you know that that's what works for you. Yeah, so I see that being the case for some. And for others of you, it could be more of a situation where you might be choosing to wait a little longer, or you might be choosing to wait for that clarity, choosing to wait for that inner knowing or that inspired action. Like you one day getting up and knowing exactly what to do. But when that time will come, I can't say for certain with these cards. I can't say, oh, you will know exactly what to do and on this day at this time. I can't say that for certain, which is why we have this Two of Wands card, which represents waiting. So yeah, and actually with you having been drawn to the stop sign, this could be you putting a stop to this waiting. This could be you deciding to no longer prolong this period of indecisiveness by you choosing to make a decision. Like, okay, I will no longer wait for someone to tell me what to do or for someone to give me the answer or for a sign. And if some of you are holding back on making a decision because you are wanting to choose something or do something that will please everyone involved or everyone who knows about this, then there is this message with Protected that there might be some people, no matter what decision you choose to make, whatever action you choose to take, there might be some people who will not be pleased at first. But over time, they will get adjusted or they will become okay with whatever decision you did choose to make or whatever action you did choose to take. Yeah, because I don't see you deciding or choosing anything that will negatively affect others. Some people might not like it. It might go against their expectations, but it won't negatively affect them because we do have this energy of Protected. Yeah, and because the Two of Wands can speak about traveling overseas. Yeah, if you are traveling in the next 7 days, know that you are protected. You are protected throughout your trip or throughout your travels. Everything is going to be all right. With stop, there might be a little bit of hiccups here and there. It's nothing, I don't see it being anything to worry about because again, you are protected, but there might be some, 3D hiccups. Like maybe you might get stopped at customs because of a holdup. Maybe the computer isn't working or someone inputted information wrong into the system and so things need to be double checked or something along those lines. And for some it could be possible that like plans do get delayed. Maybe a flight gets delayed or it gets canceled, your flight gets changed. And if so, again, because we do have this card of Protected, know that this is divine intervention. If this is happening, it's for a reason. It's for a really good reason. You are being divinely protected. So don't try to resist anything in the next 7 days that you get a feeling, you get an inkling, could very well be divine intervention at play. Yeah, and no matter what, universe will be protecting you. So if it's not meant to be because it will be harmful to you or to anyone, then it won't be. It just won't be. Yeah, so if you see like 77 or repeated 7s or the number 7 a lot in the next 7 days, that could be your sign or indication that you are being looked after, that you are being divinely guided, that spirit is by your side. And this just came through, that you do have angels with you. Yeah, and if you set an intention for your loved ones to be protected, or for anyone in specific to be protected, know that your intentions are being heard and they are being acknowledged. Your loved ones will be looked after and protected. And if plans get stopped, delayed, or postponed in the next 7 days, or if something doesn't go exactly according to plan, know that even though there is this delay, it isn't going to affect your plans. I know that might sound strange, but it isn't going to negatively affect your plans. Like your plans, your projects, idea, endeavor, whatever it may be, it's protected. It's protected. Like, you know, when like the bank cancels an order for you if it finds it sketchy, or they like block your credit card if they find sketchy movements or something, like, oh, someone just used your credit card at this store that you don't normally go to, so we decided to block your credit card for the time being, and we're just notifying you whether this was you making this transaction or not. You know, it's kind of that feeling like you're being looked after. So yeah, for some that could be the case. Like, maybe one of your accounts gets closed or something gets blocked, but it's all with the intention of protecting you. And it's not to say that it's permanently closed or blocked. It's just for the time being as things get addressed, you know, as you get that call asking you whether it's you who made that transaction. So while you get authenticized and everything is checked, that's when things might get stopped or blocked for the time being. But once everything gets set, everything goes back in motion. Yeah, so there's this feeling with the train leaving of like someone might be wanting to get away with something, but they can't. They won't be able to. They'll get stopped right on their tracks, or they'll get caught before they do anything. They won't be able to negatively affect you, is the feeling I'm getting, whatever this may be. This is just coming through because I feel like this will result in some delays, or in maybe things getting slowed down because of this hindrance or nuisance here. So just letting you know, if things slow down or get delayed, it's because of this. It's because you are being protected. I'm also seeing that some of you could be experiencing delays when driving because you might need to stop for a train that is passing by. So maybe avoid railroad tracks in the next 7 days, or just know that if it does happen to be the case that you need to wait for a train to pass by, that this little delay is divine intervention and protection at play in some way. Okay, but now let me pull out some extra oracle cards to see what else we can find, or what more messages we can get for the next 7 days. Okay, so we have release worry, know that everything is going to be all right. Sorry that I chuckled. It's just that I found it very interesting, and I was at the same time quite grateful that this message came up, because, you know, throughout the entire reading, it was mentioned how whatever decision you do choose to make, that everything is going to be all right, that there's no right or wrong. So this is just further confirmation, further reassurance for you that everything is going to be all right. And there was a very straightforward message at the beginning, like, stop worrying, everything is going to be all right. And yeah, we have that message come up again with this card. Release the worry. Don't hold on to that worry any longer. Yeah, and with the crystal ball here, you know, a symbol of the third eye right in the center of this crystal ball, makes me think of you wanting to know the outcome, you wanting to predict the future, you wanting to be certain, like, oh, this is going to lead to that, this is what is going to happen if I do this and I do that. But, you know, there's this feeling with this image of we can't always know what will happen with certainty. We cannot. And waiting to be completely 100% certain about something can often hold us back. You know, because there might always be that bit of uncertainty or hesitation or what if that might come before we make a decision, or even after we make a decision, or whilst we're making a decision. So yeah, release yourself from this belief that you need to be 100% certain, before taking any form of action or making any kind of decision. Yeah, because that could be limiting you, holding on to this kind of belief. But let's see. There's a message that came through, which I'm quite hesitant on sharing with you guys, but you know, again, only take what resonates. I know this is a prediction reading, you know, but with the crystal ball being here, if you are listening to a lot of prediction readings or intuitive readings to help you gain more clarity about something, take any reading that you listen to with a grain of salt. Don't see them as the end all be all. Don't think them to be the universal truth, what it is that you need to do. Because again, only you can decide for yourself what is right for you, what is good for you, what is in alignment with. So if there is someone telling you, hey, this is what you should be doing, this is what is the best option for you, if you resonate with whatever is being told to you, then, you know, by all means consider what is being said to you, but don't feel like that is the answer. It's like advice, you know. Advice is simply that, advice. It's not the end all be all. It's not the universal truth. Advice is to be listened to and not to be taken as fact. So that's kind of the message that is coming through with this crystal ball. So just be very mindful of the advice that is being given to you in the next 7 days. Remember that it's just advice. Okay, so we also have confidence is not needed to move forward in life. Focus on the very act of moving forward, and in that momentum, confidence will be found. Yeah, so I feel like this goes hand in hand with the messages that came through before of, you know, release the belief that you need to be 100% certain about something in order to make a decision or in order to take action. You know, it's the same thing here. Sometimes we believe that in order to take action or make a decision, we need to be 100% confident. If we're not confident, then that might be a sign that we're not ready to make any kind of decision or take any form of action. But that isn't necessarily true. You know, sometimes confidence is found after taking action, or it is built from the action itself. And it's true with certainty. Sometimes the certainty comes after we make the decision. You know, it's like someone who's indecisive about going out or not, and then they decide to go out, still a bit hesitant and doubtful whether this was a good choice or not. But then they start enjoying their time out. And as they enjoy more and more of their time out, they start becoming more and more confident, more and more certain that they made a good decision to go out that day or that night. You know, that's kind of the feeling here. Like sometimes what you're looking for isn't found until after you've taken that action, made that decision, decided to move forward or move along with something. Yeah, so let's see. This card always makes me think of the astrological placement Sun and Leo. So some of you could be a Leo Sun, or maybe someone who will be playing a significant role in your life. Maybe someone who will be offering you advice could be a Leo Sun. Let's see what else. Crystal balls, butterflies, white birds, doves, flames, fire, volcanoes, crescent moons, the sun could be of significance for the next 7 days, as well as like the third eye symbols. Lions could be of significance, trains, railroad tracks, and pins. Pins could be of significance in the next 7 days, or a specific pin, maybe a pin shaped like a heart could be of significance. Maybe someone will be gifting you a lucky pin, or a pin that you will later on claim to be your lucky pin. And as well as stop signs, because you guys were drawn to the stop sign. These could be of significance or of importance in the next 7 days. Yeah, but let's see what else. If it happens to be the 4th, the 6th, the 10th, or the 7th of the month in the next 7 days, those specific days could be of significance. And if it does happen to be the 4th or the 6th of the month in the next 7 days, from the 4th to the 6th of the month could be an important window of time. Okay, but these are all the messages I'm seeing for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was of some assistance to you. I know it was all over the place. Yeah, so I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity to you. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is at my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you so much for being here and for allowing me to read for you. And a huge thank you to Spirit for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. I am wishing you a wonderful next 7 days. And until next moment, bye-bye. Hello, you guys who chose the plus and minus symbol. Bienvenidos to your reading. So the first thing that came to mind when looking at the option that you were drawn to was the word moderation. So in the next 7 days, I do see you doing things in moderation and being very self-aware and mindful of yourself. So different examples are coming to mind to illustrate this energy I'm picking up on. So one example that is coming to mind is someone who tends to get caught up in their head and who has realized this about themselves. And so in the next 7 days, every time they catch themselves getting caught up in their head, not being in the present moment, they kind of stop themselves and ground themselves, pull themselves back into the present moment. Yeah, so with the plus and minus sign, I'm getting this scenario of realizing that the volume on the television is to the max. It's way too high. And deciding that that's not a good volume, and then choosing to put the volume down to a more comfortable, healthier volume. Yeah, so this is once again reminding me of moderation, like not going to extremes, or catching yourself before you do reach any extremes, or catching yourself when you are at some extreme and then choosing to bring yourself back to neutralization or to a good healthy level. Yeah, so this could be in terms to like habits, tendencies that you might have. Like if you are someone who tends to worry quite a bit, then I do see you being very aware of this in the next 7 days. And as mentioned already several times, catching yourself like, oh, I'm starting to do this again. And I know that I don't have to do this. I know that it isn't out of my control. I know I can, in a way, manage this and bring things back into balance or into a healthier level or percentage. Yeah, and I feel like this could also be true when it comes to how much you are choosing to take on. For example, how many responsibilities, how much workload. I do see you being in a way in management of what you feel is too much and what you feel is good enough. Like a good amount, like a good amount of work, a healthy amount of work. You being the one calling those shots, making those decisions. Yeah, because now the scenario that came to mind is someone entering a room and realizing that the lights are too bright. And instead of putting up with that, with the lights being too bright, they decide to take, in a way, management of the situation and dim the lights to a more comfortable setting. Yeah, so for a lot of you in the next 7 days, I do also see you kind of working with your environment or working with things around you in order to bring things into a more comfortable, healthier level, healthier situation. And there's this feeling with the plus and minus sign of being reasonable with things. Again, not taking things to extremes and realizing that you can make adjustments when needed. Another example that is coming to mind is someone choosing how much time they are socializing. Like, okay, I need to go out and socialize. I've been alone for quite some time now, so I'm gonna go and socialize, go and talk to people, be with people. And then deciding when there has been enough of socializing, when they need to retreat, be alone for a bit in order to recharge. So in the next 7 days, I do see you taking charge and making adjustments until stability or a nice equilibrium is found. Okay, so let me now pull out the cards. Sorry if you hear background noise. Yeah, my neighbors are outside and they can tend to get pretty loud. Ooh! Okay, so okay, so 2 cards fell on the table, 1 fell on the floor, and usually the maximum number of cards I take in a reading when they fall out all at once is 2, but looking at all of the cards that fell out together for you guys, they all go hand in hand. So I'm going to take all of them, and actually we even have some that go like in chronological order. So yeah, we have number 29 would speak with fire, loud expression, and the message: express your words with passion and intent. Your words are needed more than you know. Stay confident and clear and voice your authentic truth. Your voice has power to inspire and open people's minds. Don't hold back. Oh, so interesting. And then we have gentle with words with quiet expression, the opposite of loud expression, with the number 30. Be gentle with how you speak. A moment in time could use your tender tongue right now. Secrets may also need to be held in to protect any potential unwanted exposure. Okay, and then lastly we have number 41 with tension, and the key terms build up and rise, and the message: something is building, whether physical or mental. Something is causing you tension. You will need time to find your breath. Meditate, surround yourself in nature. Try not to allow small or big things to force an unnecessary reaction. So with all these 3 cards and the plus and minus symbol, I am getting something along the lines of trying to manage your temper, which does have to do with moderation. And the key term moderation always reminds me of the Temperance card in the tarot, which is a card of temperament, could be a card that indicates managing your temper. But let me pull out a clarifier card. So we have the 4 of Pentacles, number 27, the dog. So the first word that came to mind when looking at this 4 of Pentacles card was reserved. Yeah, so I do feel like a lot of you are working on managing your temper, or being more mindful on how you express your emotions, how you voice your opinions, on maybe not being emotionally reactive or not acting out of anger, not lashing out, or maybe even acting out of fear. Yeah, and with tension being here, there's this feeling of being super mindful of what it is that you're saying, how it is that you're saying the things that you're saying, or whether you should say something or not. So if these have been your concerns recently, I do feel like in the next 7 days, you will continue to have these similar concerns or be very mindful of these things. But with the plus or minus sign, I am seeing you finding a nice balance, because the 4 of Pentacles can also speak about something stable, something grounded. So I am seeing you finding a nice medium where instead of holding yourself back or preventing yourself from saying something that you really want to say, you are finding a way to express yourself, voice your opinions, but in a way that it's healthy. Yeah, healthy is the word with the 4 of Pentacles, because the number 4 for me is a number of healing, of health, also a number of protection and stability. Yeah, so it's this feeling of you're voicing your opinions in a way that helps you express yourself, helps you release tension, but also prevents yourself from feeling guilty afterwards. Right? Because I did speak about emotional reactivity, and it's often the case that when we are emotionally reactive, we end up doing things and saying things that we don't really mean and that we might later regret. And maybe that has been the case for some of you guys, like, speaking before thinking what you're going to say. And that could be the why you chose to be more mindful of what you said or how you said the things you wanted to say or your actions, because you didn't want to end up doing something that you will later regret or feel guilty about. Yeah, so I do see you finding this middle ground where you don't have to walk on eggshells or around eggshells. And you can say what it is that you want to say, but say it in a way that doesn't lead to any guilt or regret later on. So I also see you being more aware of when it's the best moment to say something and when's the best moment to be reserved. Yeah, because my eyes keep being drawn to this image in the Gentle with Words card, which shows someone shushing or gesturing to keep quiet, to keep silent. So I feel like this is your inner being signaling to you like, right now is not the best time to share what it is that you're thinking about sharing or to communicate this idea. Maybe we need to wait for a later time, or maybe this is not the person to confide in. Yeah, because with the dog being here, the dog reminds me of loyalty. So I also see you being discerning of who to trust, who to confide in, who to open up to. Yeah, so it's not that you're being reserved with everyone, that you're not choosing to speak to anyone or to open up to anyone. You are, but you're just being very discerning as to who to do this with. Yeah, so with the plus and minus symbol, I am seeing a situation in which for the next 7 days, you might find yourself in environments where you're very, very chatty, where you're very open, very expressive of your emotions, of your opinions, very forthcoming, and then being in other environments where you're being more reserved, where you're being a bit more quiet, where you're not speaking or communicating so much or being very vocal or very expressive. And that's you discerning the environment, the situation. Yeah, because dogs, I just imagined or saw in my mind's eye a dog sniffing something out. And animals are very sensitive to energy and also very sensitive to like emotional state of others. They can sense when people are nervous, they can sense when people are relaxed or are on the defensive. Yeah, so I feel like that will be you for the next 7 days. You will kind of be, this is a weird way to put it, but sniffing people out or sniffing environments out. It's kind of like knowing where and with who it's okay to be completely and utterly yourself. Because I know it's always advised to be yourself no matter what, and it's true. Yet what I'm seeing here, it's sort of like you're still being you, authentically you. This is all still you, but you're just noticing like, okay, this person can take this kind of joke, but this person I know maybe will not take this joke so well. It's kind of that feeling like, if I act a certain way with this person, I know they won't take it the wrong way or they won't assume anything or misunderstand it. But whereas this person doesn't know me so well. So if I act a certain way with this person, they might misunderstand me, misinterpret my actions, or they might get insulted by what I do or what I say. So maybe with them, I need to be a bit more careful as to what I say or what I do. Maybe be more mindful of certain boundaries. Yeah, because also with the Four of Pentacles, there's this feeling of like testing waters. Yeah, so you could be meeting new people in the next 7 days where you don't really know what their personal individualistic boundaries are yet. And so you're kind of like learning where the boundaries are so that you won't overstep them. Yeah, because with tension, I am seeing a bit of tension occurring sometime in the next 7 days. And it could be in that situation where you're going to an event or somewhere new, or you're meeting new people, or there is a gathering where there's a lot of people you've never interacted with, and it's that feeling of, okay, I don't really know how to act in this situation, I don't really know what's appropriate, I don't really know what these people are all about, because it's all new and you don't know what's what. You're feeling a bit stiff or possibly even stifled, and that might create a lot of tension in you. Yeah, because I'm just keep imagining someone who's just surrounded by people who they've never met before, and they're feeling a bit uncomfortable by that, like a bit tense, especially because they get the feeling that these people don't share their same sense of humor. So there's a bit of tension because of that. Like, I don't really vibe with these people, or I feel like if I were to crack a joke, they wouldn't understand it. It's that kind of feeling. Yeah, but I'm also seeing for some that in the next 7 days, there could be a kind of a tense moment occurring where maybe someone is communicating their feelings or speaking honestly about something, and that might make others uncomfortable. Or there could be some form of maybe confrontation. It could be between you and someone else. Yeah, because I'm seeing also this back and forth of, should I say something? Do I keep quiet? It's kind of this feeling of holding yourself back, and that could be the thing that's creating tension. Like, there's something that you want to say, but you're not sure if it's the right time to say it. Or you feel like the moment that you say something, you might just, pour yourself out, or you might say the wrong thing. Yeah, so it's like you're trying to find the right moment, or you're trying to maybe let some time pass in order to cool down, or in order to make more sense of a situation, get more grounded about something before you decide to say anything or do anything. Just so that you know that you aren't being emotionally reactive, or that you won't end up saying anything that you might later regret, or that you don't really mean. Yeah, but I will say I am getting this feeling of holding yourself back quite a bit. Yeah, because I do see how hard you're working on like managing your temper, if that resonates with you, on not being emotionally reactive, or being mindful of your actions, of your words. And I want to commend you for that, because I am seeing you putting a lot of effort into this. And you are doing a lot. I will say you are doing a lot. And I feel like you're still learning. You're still learning what is a good middle ground. Because, being mindful of our actions, of our words, it's not about suppressing our way of being, or suppressing our emotions, or stifling our character, our personality. And I feel like that's what you are starting to come to realize, that there is a way for you to be expressive, for you to be honest, for you to be authentic, without needing to suppress parts of yourself, without needing to stifle your inner fire. Because with the flames being here, I feel like you guys are quite fiery. You're very, very passionate. When you feel something, you feel it intensely. When you believe in something, you believe in it intensely. You might even feel it all throughout your body. Like when you get angry, you might feel it all throughout your body. Or when you feel passionate about something, you might feel it all throughout your body. So there is a fire within you, and it's important for you not to stifle this fire within you. So I do see you finding a way as to how to keep this fire in check, so that it won't burn you or burn others, but also keep it fed so that it won't fizzle out. Yeah, because I'm seeing this fire being like your passion. Yeah, so I'm seeing for the next 7 days like a bit of everything. There will be moments in which you might feel very relaxed, calm. There might be other moments in which you might feel very energetic, might be inspired to do a lot of things at once. There will be moments in which you might find yourself being quite loud, exuberant, boisterous, and there might be moments in which you might find yourself being quite reserved, calm, quiet, and those are all valid. They're all parts of you, parts of your personality. And with tension, you could be feeling a bit tense, or you could be feeling a bit of tension in your body. Yeah, and that might be a result of you suppressing certain things, feeling like you can't really be honest about something, or you can't really express what it is that you want to express, or feeling like you need to be super careful around something or someone. Yeah, there's this feeling of almost needing to walk around eggshells. I just lifted the card at the bottom of the deck because I felt like I needed more information, even though we have all these cards. But the card at the bottom of the deck is the King of Cups with number 24, hand in hand. Yeah, so for some, this could be like a relationship that you're having trouble knowing how to go about it. maybe someone that you are in a relationship with is currently going through a difficult patch. Maybe they're the ones who are a bit emotionally reactive at this time, and so like you're never certain how they might react to certain things. So it could be them who you feel like you always need to be walking around eggshells with, and that's creating a lot of tension. It could be creating a lot of tension in the relationship, or if this is someone that you live with, it could be creating a lot of tension at home. I am seeing there being some discord. So maybe you are not in good terms with someone, or maybe there was a falling out with someone, and this is the person that maybe you don't know whether it's the right time to, talk with them. Maybe this is the situation or the person that you might worry you might say the wrong thing to if given the opportunity to. And so that's why you're choosing to maybe wait before talking to this person or meeting with them or interacting with them or saying anything to them. Yeah, because if this resonates with you, not being in good terms with someone at this moment, I feel like the only way that you can come into good terms with this person or reach some agreement is if both of you choose not to be emotionally reactive, if both of you choose to think things through and like ground yourselves in a way before communicating with each other. Yeah, because I'm getting a bit of an explosive energy. Yeah, so you could trigger a bit of an explosive reaction or energy from each other. And you're quite aware of that. And I feel like this other person is quite aware of that too. And so you could be choosing to keep your distance or just be very mindful. That's the feeling I'm getting with these two cards. Like noticing when your temper is getting the best of you, when you are around this person, or when you're starting to say things that you don't mean, or you are raising your voice and then choosing to like lower your voice down. Yeah, because the Four of Pentacles, it's making me think of going back to the base. It's kind of like you have to remind yourself every now and then to come back to base. Like, oh, I'm starting to raise my voice. That's no good. Let me come back to base. Or reminding someone else, like, you're starting to raise your voice. You're starting to lose your temper. And then reminding them, like kind of helping them ground to come back to base. Yeah, because the King of Cups has to do with emotions. Being emotionally aware, being emotionally mature. So I do see you being very aware of your emotional reaction to things or to people. I am also seeing a situation in which someone might be feeling a bit uncomfortable because they don't know what side to choose, or if they do have to choose a side. They want to stay neutral in a situation, but they might be finding it hard to do so due to loyalty, wanting to stay loyal to someone, or wanting to do the right thing. So to give an example, person A is friends with person B and C, but person B and C recently got into an argument and aren't on speaking terms. And now person A doesn't know if it is appropriate to talk to either person B and or C. They don't want to choose a side, but they also don't want to not offer support to either one of their friends. So the discord between person B and C is creating a lot of tension in the friend group. Yeah, so if this situation resonates with you, whoever person A is in this situation, whether it be you or someone else, I do not see person A taking anyone's side in these next 7 days. I see them doing their very best to stay quite neutral in this situation whilst remaining supportive and respectful of both ends. Because things do feel a bit tense. Yeah, just whenever you can, take some time to rest, to create a nice setting for yourself, a nice environment in which you can relax. If there's something healthy that you do that helps you release tension, you could be doing some of that in the next 7 days. Like for example, I know some people exercise in order to release tension, or they get a massage in order to release tension in the physical body. So you could be called to do some of that in the next 7 days in order to help you release this tension. Yeah, and don't put yourself, like if you don't have to be in situations that create tension in you, don't feel the need to put yourself in those situations. Yeah, with tension there is this message of don't put yourself under unnecessary stress. And maybe that's what you guys are not wanting to do in the next 7 days. Put yourself under unnecessary stress. So you're doing your very best to not create or seek out or be a part of unnecessary drama. But with the hand in hand here and the dog, if you currently feel like you are in a situation where you are alone, know that that isn't the case. I do see there being support around you, like having supportive friends or co-workers, classmates, family members. There are people who are on your side and who are willing and wanting to support you and be there for you and stand by you. These people could be an earth sign or a water sign. So earth sign would be Capricorn, Virgo, and or Taurus, and water signs would be Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. So let me pull out some extra oracle cards to get any last messages, advice, and guidance for the next 7 days. Oh, keep stumbling upon my words. Let me try this again. Okay, so we have everyone is emitting a vibrational signal. Shift your vibration rather than words you are offering. Then you have true control of what you are attracting. So interesting. Maybe for those of you who are struggling on how to communicate certain things, maybe it's not so much about what you say, but it's more so about the vibration, the energy, the intention that you emit. Yeah, so like for example, if someone is apologizing, but they are not at all apologetic, the one who is receiving the apology will feel that. They will know that. And so they won't care about whatever is being said to them. All they will focus on is the signal they're receiving, that this person isn't really apologetic. So yeah, just don't force yourself to say anything or do anything that you don't mean, because it will be felt. Yeah, and doing things and saying things that we don't mean ultimately also doesn't serve us any good, because it feels bad. It doesn't feel good when we do things and say things that we don't mean. And authenticity doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to receive it, and it doesn't feel good to emit it. With the message, you have true control of what you are attracting. Yeah, just know that if what you are attracting at this moment is peace, it's stability, then being in that energy yourself will eventually attract more of that into your life. Yeah, so sometimes we have to, in a way, wait until the storm to pass in order for us to experience the warmth of the sun once again, right? So yeah, if you're currently going through a chaotic time and what you are yearning for and longing for is the warmth of the sun, the peace, the tranquility that comes after the storm, maybe what is most recommended at this time is to just wait it out until the storm passes, until things calm down. You know, not engage with this energy, or try not to engage as much with it or fuel the fire. Yeah, and I did mention the storm, and I just noticed we have all these clouds around this star, and it sort of seems like the clouds have dispersed. They dissipated so that now we can see the star that was behind these clouds. Yeah, so just know that this period of tension and chaos, it will pass. It will pass. Things will become more clear, especially as to what it is that you need to do, or what is it that you truly feel. What is it that you truly feel about the situation, or what is it that you truly want about the situation or for the situation or whatnot. Yeah, so the advice here will be to just wait it out a bit. Wait until things become a bit more steady, more grounded, more calm, and then that's when you'll find better clarity. Yeah, and the less you engage with drama and everything you don't want, the more you make space for what you do want. Okay, so we have endings are always the start of a new beginning. Move forward with courage. Yeah, so amidst all this darkness, confusion, and unclarity, a doorway is opening up for you, revealing the sun, the warmth of the sun, the sunlight. Yeah, so there is a way through this. Things might be a little unclear at this moment, but clarity will come. And there is definitely a new beginning. There is a new beginning. So yeah, some of you could be going through an ending or giving way to an ending in order to embark on a new beginning. Yeah, so just this is your reassurance, your encouragement to move forward with courage. Yeah, if you're wondering whether you are on the right path, whether bringing something to an end or allowing for this ending is a good decision, I feel like this is your confirmation that it is, that this is leading to a new beginning, a new dawn. So just, yeah, move forward with courage. Okay, but let's see. Sunrises, stars, the North Star, Polaris, dogs, canines, bracelets, handshakes, flames, fire, a ring, plus or minus symbol, or less or more symbol, as well as a touch, a physical touch or an embrace, could be of significance in the next 7 days. And if it happens to be, oh goodness, I just noticed, the 24th, the 27th, the 29th, or the 30th of the month in the next 7 days, pay close attention to those specific days because they could be of significance. Also, I am seeing a window of time from like the 24th to the 27th, the 27th to the 29th, as well as from the 27th to the 30th. Yeah, but these are all the messages I am seeing for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is on my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. And a huge thank you to Spirit for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. I am wishing you a wonderful next 7 days. Please take care of yourselves. Don't put yourself on the back burner. Yeah, and until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello, you guys who chose the star. Bienvenidos to your reading. So, a few messages came to mind when connecting with the energy of this group. The first message was, don't be afraid to acknowledge or realize the star within. And the second message was, you are more than the pictures you paint or the pictures you take. So I will be offering my own interpretation of these messages, but if you would like to just take the messages as they are, sit with them and see what comes up for you, then please by all means do so. But if the interpretations I'm about to share resonate with you, then yeah, if you feel called to claim them, then definitely do claim them. But what I am getting from these messages is that if you believe in spirit guides, your spirit team, they have been for a while now working with you on helping you to realize and acknowledge your greatness, your shine, your light. Maybe some of you guys struggle with insecurity or low self-esteem, or you tend to be pretty hard on yourself. Maybe you expect a lot from yourself, or you always see faults in you or in what it is that you do. And if that happens to be the case, then I definitely do feel like a lot of you guys have been working on building your self-esteem or releasing the need to always judge yourself or put yourself down or beat yourself up. Yeah, because I feel like what you're currently working on, or what Spirit is currently working on with you, is getting you to see how amazing you are, how brightly you shine. It's for you to feel comfortable with shining your light. And I am right now picking up on an energy that is open and free. So I do feel a lot of you are currently freeing yourself and freeing your mind of several limited beliefs and false perceptions about yourself, perceptions that have for the longest time kept you believing that you weren't good enough or you needed to do more, be more in order to be of value or to be deserving of your desires, your wishes, because you guys were drawn to the star, and stars are associated with wishes, with dreams. I don't know why I feel the need to remind you or to reassure you that you are of light, you are light. You are deserving of something pure, something real, and something beautiful. And that you can allow yourself to experience it, to feel worthy of it. Overall, I feel like the next 7 days, it's a continuation of this work you've been doing, this healing work, or this intention of you recognizing your inner light, your inner beauty, your worth, your shine, that you do shine, and that it is okay for you to shine your light. And for the second message that came through, which was, I should have written them down, but I believe it went something along the lines of, you are more than the pictures you paint and or take. I feel this message is indicating that you are more than what you do. You are not measured by what you do or what you create. If you are someone who is currently working to build something, like build a business, build clientele, build an audience, build your reputation, or build financial wealth, financial stability, etc., and thus far you aren't seeing the results or the progress that you are expecting, and you're starting to blame it on you, like it doesn't even have anything to do with your skills or your experience or anything of the sort. Like, for example, someone who owns a business and isn't seeing a lot of financial profit in their business, and they are associating that with them not having any experience in business or in finances. I don't see that being your case. It's more so like someone who isn't doing as they expected themselves to do, and they're not blaming it or associating it with their lack of anything, like lack of experience, lack of knowledge, lack of skills. Instead, they are blaming it on themselves, like thinking themselves as the problem, like their whole being, all of who they are being the problem, the reason why. And that's a very skewed perception and perspective, and it has nothing to do with reality. So if that resonates with you, if that's currently the mindset that you are in, I do feel like you will soon start working on this, possibly in the next 7 days, on your self-worth and how you perceive yourself. Because blaming yourself, your very being, maybe even your existence for anything, it's coming from a place of hurt and pain, and not from anything factual, not from anything real. So the star, or the star card in tarot, is associated with healing, with faith, with hope, and I'm at this moment interpreting it as a card of self-compassion. So I do feel like in the next 7 days, it's a time where you are going to begin pouring, if you haven't already started, a lot of compassion and love and understanding into yourself, especially compassion. Because if, for example, you do need to work on something like improving a skill, for example, just because there needs to be improvement on a skill that you possess doesn't mean that there's something wrong with the whole of you. It just means that this skill needs improvement, or you need a little bit more experience or more knowledge about a certain area or a certain thing. That's all. But it doesn't mean or indicate that there is something wrong with you, who you are as an individual, or that you yourself are lacking in any way. Because all of us are learning, all of us are evolving. No one is perfect. No one comes into this world knowing absolutely everything and being good at everything. We are here evolving and learning and improving and bettering as individuals, and in our skills and in our knowledge about things. So yeah, please have more compassion and understanding for yourself, and know that what you do and the result of what you do isn't an indicator of who you are or what you're worth. Like, for example, if you are a creator and you share your work and your work only gets 5 views or gets 1,000 views but only 5 likes, that doesn't say anything about who you are as a person. That doesn't say anything about your worth or your value or anything about you as a creator. That's just stats. Those are just numbers. Because who knows? Yeah, maybe 1,000 people did view your content, but only 5 of them had the courage or the motivation to press like. But that doesn't mean that they were the only people who enjoyed your art or who took something from your work. It just means that there were 5 people who pressed like. That's it. I know that was a very lame example, but yeah, I feel like the underlying message here is that you are more than what you do. You're more than what you bring to the table. And this might sound a little bit harsh, but get out of the habit of measuring your worth with like external things, such as like outcomes, results, numbers, percentages, validation from strangers, or even from people that you know. Because I don't know why these examples are coming to mind, but you know, someone could really like something about you, like something that you're wearing, but they won't say it. They won't say it. So if someone doesn't say something, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that they don't like what you do or that they don't see you. It's just that they're choosing not to say it. So we can't always rely on external validation. I know it feels good and that we need it because we're humans. We need that external validation from time to time, but to rely on it, to put our worth and our value on that external validation, it's not a reliable source. I know those were very like all over the place messages, but I hope that if it did resonate, that they have some assistance to you. But now we are going to look at the cards, see what else we can get for the next 7 days. Ooh, okay. Let me try one more time. Ooh, okay. So, okay. We have number 47 with introverted, calm, introspective, and the message, an energy of quiet and stillness may come your way. It is needed. Spend time in. Okay, and now I'm going to pull out a clarifier. Okay, so this card flipped over, and it's the Queen of Swords with number 42 and Amor. So this immediately made me think of self-love with Amor. I'm picking up on a very gentle and soft energy, which is kind of reminding me of the group with the fast forward symbol. So if you were also drawn to that group, yeah, if you feel called to do so, I do recommend for you to also watch or listen to that reading, because there could be some messages in that reading for you as well. But I do feel like in the next 7 days, you could be spending some time in introspection. I am mostly sensing or seeing someone choosing to spend some time in solitude, but in comforting solitude. It's how it's coming through, not exactly isolation. So there is this heads up, this caution about isolating. If you are someone who tends to isolate, meaning you tend to shut the rest of the world out, you tend to go in on yourself, not exactly going within, but more like turning in on yourself, withdrawing, to be mindful of that, to see if that is you avoiding feeling certain things, or if that's you suppressing certain emotions, if that's you in a way hiding or escaping. Because remember, the star represents healing. So if there is to be healing, there needs to be some vulnerability, there needs to be some rawness. Emotions that are usually kept in lock need to be allowed to come out and be seen and be felt. So I do feel like a lot of you tend to keep your emotions in, and maybe some of you don't even notice that you do this, because we do have the Queen of Swords here, and this is a queen that is associated with the element of air, and air is associated with the mind, with logic. So with the Queen of Swords being here, I do feel like this could be a case in which instead of feeling your emotions, you intellectualize them, you rationalize them. And although you might perceive that as you being emotionally aware, or possibly even emotionally mature, that might not be exactly the case. Because what I see happening here is that someone is intellectualizing, rationalizing their emotions in order to avoid feeling them. And so this is in a way them inadvertently suppressing their emotions. Because to intellectualize our emotions is to detach from our emotions, because once we use the mind to rationalize our emotions, we are no longer feeling through them, right? So there's that emotional detachment in a way. So I do feel like that is what some of you guys have been doing and tend to do. And for the longest time, you might have not been aware of this, or you might have interpreted this kind of behavior or reaction to your emotions as you being very self-aware, emotionally aware. And though it is true, because, you know, the Queen of Swords is very aware and she's super intelligent. So I do see you in a way understanding emotions very well, like what they mean, what they can lead to, and like understanding what emotional reactivity is and so forth. I still feel like there's no emotional vulnerability. It's like understanding a theory, right? Like you get the theory, you're very knowledgeable about it, but it's one thing knowing the theory and another thing putting the theory into practice. And so I feel like what is happening here is that you know the theory, but you have yet to put it into practice. And it's the putting it into practice, feeling through the emotions that you could be struggling with, or that you could fear doing. There could be some fear around that, or possibly even insecurity around feeling your emotions. Because with the door being closed, I get this feeling that like every time your emotions peek through the door, like every time you get a little bit of taste of what is hidden behind these doors, you immediately run to shut that door. Because even though we have the Queen of Swords here, we do have Cupid and this pierced heart. So I do feel like you guys, even though you might be very intellectual or you tend to rationalize your emotions, you are very emotionally sensitive. So you feel things deeply, and that might be the reason why you hold yourself back on feeling things, because when you do, you feel them deeply, and at times that might feel like too much for you. And so the way to protect yourself from feeling this depth or this intensity is you rationalizing things, thinking through things, but then that resulting you feeling disconnected from your heart, or maybe even downplaying what you truly feel. Yeah, because sometimes when we rationalize our emotions, we downplay what we're feeling, you know, because only the heart, I know this might sound very cheesy, but only the heart will know the depth of our emotions. You know, the mind can really comprehend it. Only the heart can really experience it. And you are keeping yourself from allowing your heart to experience the depth of what is going on within, of what is coming up for you. So I do feel like this month, I was about to say this month, but we're talking about the next 7 days. So it could be this month that's a very pivotal month for this kind of healing of allowing yourself to be vulnerable. But I do feel like in the next 7 days, you are starting to, I feel it's sort of like your heart is behind this door, and what's happening in the next 7 days is that you're gonna feel your heart knocking on the door that has been closed on it. You're gonna feel your heart calling out to you, and there is going to be this, it's kind of this feeling of you can't avoid it anymore. You can no longer ignore it. Your heart is calling out to you, and you can no longer ignore that calling. You must answer it. You must open the door. Yeah, so I see you in a way, it could be building the courage to unlock this door and open it little by little. There's what I'm looking for a word. I'm not sure if it's exposure, like exposing yourself a little bit more every day to your emotions, to your inner world, to what is going on within, to get more familiarized with it, to get more comfortable with it, to kind of get acclimatized to it. But it's like little by little. It doesn't have to be in one go. It doesn't have to be like pulling off the band-aid. It doesn't have to be like that. You can take it slow. Because I do feel like, as mentioned already, you guys feel deeply and you feel intensely. So it makes sense that you would want to take this getting reconnected with your heart space, with your emotions slowly. Like, that's totally fine. And the star is all about that. You know, it's about this nourishing energy. It's about healing with compassion. And sometimes compassion requires patience. And so I do see you being patient with yourself. I feel like I'm going on tangents with this reading, like it's taking me in different directions. But in the next 7 days, for those of you who are already on this healing journey or who feel inspired to step into this healing journey, you could be spending time in solitude to go within. Not to turn in on yourself or be mean with yourself or isolate yourself, but to go within in order to listen to what is happening within, to reconnect with your heart space, with your emotions, to simply feel through whatever is coming up for you. Like, no longer rationalize it, intellectualize it, break it down, but rather just feel through it. Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of release and relief through you doing that, because I feel like there has been a lot that's been suppressed, that's been held back. Yeah, so I'm sensing a very raw energy from this group. I'm seeing someone for the next 7 days taking it quite slow, being very, very gentle. That you could even be speaking quite softly in the next 7 days. You might feel drawn to very soft and delicate things. Yeah, this group's energy is definitely connected to the energy of the group with the fast forward symbol because the card that came up for them was soft and delicate. So yeah, I feel like you guys might feel very drawn to things that are quite gentle, quite soft, maybe like music that is not so loud, that maybe doesn't even have lyrics to it. Maybe it's just instrumental, or you might feel the need to be in silence, or you might just want to sit down and listen to the sounds around you, like sounds of nature, the birds chirping outside your window, airplanes gliding overhead. Yeah, it's just this feeling of wanting to take things slow, of being calm, taking things a little at a time. I'm even seeing like someone craving warm and comforting foods, like soups or porridge, I don't know, or hot beverages. I forgot what's the word in English, but in Spanish it's called caldos. You might be craving those kind of foods, or any meal that just brings about a feeling of comfort. With introverted, I don't necessarily see you spending a lot of time in social settings or like socializing. If you tend to be on social media a lot, you could even be, well, actually, the star is reminding me of the zodiac sign Aquarius, and Aquarius does have to do with technology and social media. So you could be spending a lot of time on social media, but for those of you who are like purging suppressed emotions, you could actually, in the next 7 days, not feel as drawn to go on social media or to scroll through social media or be on your phone or on the internet. Yeah, especially if you have noticed that you feel not so great after you have been on your phone or scrolled through social media for a while. Like, if you notice that all of a sudden you feel less energetic, or you feel drained, or you feel maybe even bad about yourself, or you start being more mean to yourself, or start beating yourself up, or comparing yourself, then you could be taking note of that, or maybe you have already taken note of that, and in the next 7 days you are drawing a line or creating a boundary with social media, because you're seeing, okay, this is not helping me, this is not helping my self-esteem, this is not helping my mental health or my emotional health, so I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to spend less time being on social media. Or you could even be logging off from certain social media accounts, or maybe unfollowing certain accounts. Yeah, because with this Pierce heart, it's making me think of heartache. I feel like, and because the Cupid is the one shooting arrows at this heart, it almost gives me this feeling of doing things that hurt you. Like you doing things that ultimately hurt you. So for some, it could be like you being on social media hurts you, and you realize this, you know this, and you're choosing to stop doing this, to stop hurting yourself. And so you're logging off, or you're giving yourself a break from social media, you know. And it doesn't have to be like permanently. It could be for the meanwhile, while you work through these things, while you heal. Yeah, so this could also be about like cutting out a habit that you know hurts you in some way, hurts you emotionally, mentally. Yeah, I feel like the next 7 days, and not just in the next 7 days, I feel like from here onwards, it's about being kinder to yourself. Yeah, so once again, if you find that you're starting to isolate or withdraw, or if you feel the need to do that, and you know that this behavior of withdrawing ultimately leads to you not being in such a great place mentally, or you know that when you isolate, you end up turning in on yourself, like being mean to yourself. If you're aware that you're starting to do this, please reach out. Instead of closing the rest of the world out or shutting everybody out, please reach out. If you give it a go, you might find more comfort, actually, more healing in being with others rather than just being by yourself in pain and in hurt. Just remember, there is a difference between isolating, turning in on yourself, versus being in solitude and going within. It's two completely different things. So just be mindful as to when you're doing what and which one is actually helping you. So now I'm gonna pull out some extra oracle cards. Whoops. And remember, you are precious. Your physical vessel is precious. All of you matters and is of value and is important. It truly, 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 truly is. You truly are. But the extra message we have, or the extra oracle cards, are what has happened is old news. Nothing is stagnant and everything moves forward. Revel in the knowing that you are always creating new news. Yes. I was going to say, before reading this card, but I got sidetracked by the other message that I gave, was that whatever you are experiencing at this moment that might seem like it's something you'll never get out of, know that it's only temporary. It's not something permanent. It's not something that is going to last forever or last this entire lifetime. It isn't, and it doesn't have to be. And it's being confirmed with this message here. Nothing is stagnant and everything moves forward. You're like this river, always flowing. Maybe right now where you're flowing is through a rough patch, where maybe there's not a lot of greenery or there's not a lot to see, but you'll get past that and move on to a better scenery. And I'm thinking of sceneries as perspectives, because sometimes, this is not to say that it's all the time, but most of the time it is our perspective that really affects how we experience our reality. And if our perspective is in not such a great place, then that can result in us not having such a great experience. Like, for example, this beautiful scenery here in this image, if we perceive it as dull, then our experience of it is going to be quite dull. But if we perceive it as vibrant and exciting, then our experience of it will be vibrant and exciting. But our perception of this scenery doesn't change the scenery itself. The scenery continues being its own thing, whatever our perception might be of it. So it's not the scenery itself that changes our experience of it. It's our perception of the scenery. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, so with this message, revel in the knowing that you are always creating new news. Know that you can always change your reality, and most of the times we can change our reality by simply changing our perception of it. And with the star being the symbol that you were drawn to, which represents hope, I definitely see you having a more optimistic view on life in the next 7 days. Like, you're gradually starting to have a more optimistic view on life, or allowing yourself to hope once more, if you feel like your hope has been fading recently, you are allowing yourself to be more vulnerable and desire for the things that you desire and long for and want for it and hope for it, and know that it is possible for you, because it is possible for you. And this is not to say, when I say having a more optimistic view on life, it's not to say that you have to be positive and optimistic all the time, that you can't feel frustration and sadness and anger, because that's not realistic. You are human. You have a spectrum of emotions, and feeling through your emotions, it's important, right? Ignoring them or prioritizing some over the other is not healthy or ideal. So having an optimistic view on life, it's simply about getting out of like this black and white mindset or mentality. It doesn't have to be always dark and gloomy, and it doesn't always have to be bright and sunshiny. We can find in between. When we're going through sadness, we can feel sad, knowing that this sadness doesn't have to last forever. We can acknowledge what we feel in the moment. We can acknowledge that we feel sad in the here and now, with the knowing that this doesn't have to be something permanent or something that lasts a long time, that we can flow out of it, feel ourselves out of it. Let me pull out another card. Okay. Oh, another message of not being stuck. You are never stuck. You have endless choices. And then we have the infinity symbol here. We have the planet Jupiter in the background, which is a planet of expansion, of growth, of fortune. Yeah, so know that you are growing. Whatever you are experiencing right now isn't the end all be all. It isn't where you're going to end up. It isn't how you're going to feel the rest of your life. It's temporary. Allow for it to be temporary. The more we believe and perceive something to be permanent, or to be how things will always be, the more we hold on to it. Hold on to that phase in our life, or resist moving on to something better, because belief is very strong. So if we believe that we'll never be happy, then we can become pretty stubborn about it. Your mind is very powerful. You are very powerful. So by believing that you'll never be happy, you can keep yourself from feeling happiness. You can resist the happiness, even if it's coming through for you, even if it's surfacing up. You can resist it, because your belief of not being deserving of happiness or not ever feeling happy is that strong. So release any limited beliefs. Release anything that gets you believing that you are stuck, or that you have to be stuck, because that isn't the truth. You are never stuck. You have endless choices. So choose to set yourself free. Choose freedom. Choose expansion. Choose growth, because that's the energy that you're naturally in. You're always growing, you're always evolving, even when it doesn't feel like it. You are infinite. And remember, one step at a time. You don't have to make everything happen in one go. One step at a time. If you're finding it difficult to get out of bed, and one day you choose to get out of bed, that's a major achievement and accomplishment. That's a step, and it's a beautiful step. So commend yourself for that. Acknowledge that. This message just came to mind out of the blue, which was reach for liberation within. And once again, what's being repeated in my mind is the message: you are never stuck. You are never stuck. But let's see what else. Rivers, crystals, especially clear quartz crystals could be of significance, as well as infinity symbols, birds, white birds, pinkish colored birds, the planet Saturn, cherubs or Cupid, heart-shaped things. Yeah, and doors. Doorways is what is coming through, specifically doorways, as well as stars could be important symbols for the next 7 days. And we do have the number 42 and 47. There could be a window of time of like 6 days that could be of significance for the next 7 days. Yeah, so you might be seeing something consistent, like a consistent energy for 6 days straight. Yeah, but after those 6 days, it's done and over with. It ends, or it evolves and moves on to something else. If it happens to be the 6th or the 10th of the month in the next 7 days, those specific days could be important, as well as the 7th. Yeah, I'm getting 6 and 10 from reducing the numbers 42 and 47. Okay, but these are all the messages we have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching until the very end, and a huge thank you to all of you who took a moment to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, since that is a simple way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And I also want to give a thanks to Spirit for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. Yeah, but this is all for now. I'm wishing you a wonderful next 7 days, and until the next moment, bye bye.